Hello and welcome back to the Jess Address. You are obviously with Jess and Tanya, and we have a very, very important guest with us, Carol Adams from the city of Quinana. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you both and good morning listeners.
Yes, you heard community and you thought of us, which is really, really nice, and you want to talk to us about what's going on in Quinana.
It's really great to be able to come out and promote what is happening in your own backyard, especially when there's been so much cancellation of events and community events in city. I know not just the city of Quinana, but the city of Rockingham and all our neighbours. You know, for the last 2 years we've been, doing lots of planning and then cancelling things.
Yeah, it's been difficult, hasn't it?
It has been, and you really feel a lot of work goes into the staff and a lot of forward planning into events, and then to have them sometimes cancelled at the last minute. We feel let down, the community feels let down, but that's the way it's been. But I'm really pleased to say that we've got a full schedule of events coming up. A lot of family.
Life's getting
things.
Back to normal.
It is. It's actually started today at the marketplace. We've got a community information day, and that started at 11 o'clock, and it'll go through till 4 o'clock. So I'm going over there, and what it is, it's just given the local not-for-profit organisations and groups the opportunity to put a stall throughout the marketplace, interact with the community, provide brochures and tell them some really good things that are going on. Like, a lot of people don't even know that we've got our own Citizens Advice Bureau in Quinana. It's been there for 5 years and it's upstairs at the Darius Wells, and I'm giving it a plug because I'm the chairperson. The problem is it's doesn't have passing traffic.
Yes.
So, and they provide a really good resource tool for the community. We've also got some great organisations like the Quinana Early Years Service.
They're very important, aren't they?
Extremely important, and their whole philosophy is about building stronger families and basically keeping children out of care. So you've got the CWA and lots of other organisations.
And a very old organisation there that,
right.
Is worldly, really.
Yeah. The next thing, of course, coming up is on Monday with our very special Anzac Day. So we have a dawn service put on, of course, by the RSL. And then at 10:30 there is a mid-morning service, but there is no march past this year. That was a decision made by the RSL, and I know that a lot of other councils, and I was pleased to see that Rockingham are having a march past, which has been really missed by the community.
It has.
Very much a defence community. But we've been advised by the RSL at Quinana that they won't be able to have a march past, but there'll still be the very important 10:30 service, the laying of the wreaths and a service.
And then a community breakfast?
There's a community breakfast. So it's being put on by the Rotary Club of Quinana. So
great organisation.
They do a fantastic job, and the amount of work that they do, not just in the community but internationally, is really, really good. So we've got a strong club, and so they'll be there making the breakfast. My husband will be there. He's a member of the Quinana Rotary.
Living and breathing Quinana.
We do. But I mean, the last 2 years we did the driveway vigil.
Yep.
And that was still really quite touching. My husband's originally from New Zealand, so we had the New Zealand flag and the Australian flag over our letterbox.
Yes.
And his son came down, and grandson, and we had a little candle there, and you looked up and down the road to see who else.
Well, it was actually a good opportunity to get to know your neighbour, really, wasn't it? We did the same, and all of a sudden, it was actually quite touching to see everybody out, at the end of their driveways. For something important, we need to reflect and see what, the Anzacs have offered us, this beautiful country.
Yeah, and I think with the world conflict at the moment at Ukraine, and everything's at the forefront, and the horrors of war are really being played out in our lounge rooms.
Yes,
and I know that on that note, one of our staff members is actually collecting. We've got a property service officer called Jerry Fitzmaurice who set up a collection box at the Zone Youth Centre. And he's collecting public donations, especially first aid kits and items for children, small toys, colouring pens, pencils, papers. Already 2 big boxes went over to Poland on Sunday, and there's another box being put together now. People have responded really well to it, very generous community. So Jerry's has made available to staff, he's been told details from doctors of what medical supplies have been requested by the Ukrainian doctors. And so, mentioned before, 2 boxes worth of donations were sent to Poland on Sunday, filled with items by the city of Kwinana and the community. But items as simple as, those little, not even expensive, $3.95 little lights that you put on your head.
Okay, yes.
From Bunnings.
Yeah, the things that we take for granted. Yeah.
So if you happen to have be at Bunnings or going to Bunnings and you wish to make a donation, please go to the Zone Youth Centre and they've got a donations box there. So that would be really great.
Excellent initiative.
Yeah,
fantastic.
It really is, and that just came unsolicited by a member of our staff who has a connection to Ukraine. So I think the Anzac Day this year will be extra special because of thinking, as our Anzacs now pass on, we have, the true Anzacs would be really quite elderly.
Yes.
There's only probably a handful of them left, I'm not sure. But now you look at other areas of conflict in the world, and Ukraine, as I said, Ukraine is really front and centre at the moment of all our thoughts.
Yeah. And that's why community events, I think, are so important because, as you said, we have been through the pandemic and things like that. People have been disappointed by the fact that things haven't been on. We've been restricted to our homes and, things like that. And now this war, the world can be quite heavy at the moment. And by giving people community events, places to go, things to do, it actually, it provides our community a bit of spirit, a bit of opportunity to meet a new friend, to do something new, and it just creates that heaviness, just lifts it just a little bit. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been really, it's nice to have these opportunities again to connect as a community.
And it's great that you guys are putting these on and you're back in full force.
We are, and I think the youth really suffered during the 2 years of lockdown, on and off. So one of the initiatives that the city has had for probably about 20 years now is a program called Lyric. We do Lyric Awards, which stand for Leadership, Youth, Respect in Leadership, Respect, Youth in Quinana.
Okay, yeah.
And we now open nominations for young people aged 10 to 18 who have done things in the community that people believe that they should be nominated, put forward to celebrate all the good things and positive things that young people do.
And that should be celebrated. That's a great initiative.
And there's some great prizes. So there's several categories: achievement, inspire, leadership, respect, teamwork and well-being. And I must say, having been a past judge many times, it's been quite difficult because you don't realise just how many really lovely young people there
passion
are
out there
in the community. But the hard thing with any kind of community awards is getting people to nominate. It's not always easy to nominate or to take the time to nominate.
So are they nominating themselves or someone else is
nominates them?
Yep.
Yeah. And so the winner gets a cash prize of $250 and a $50 donation to the charity of their choice, which is really great.
Do you know who the winner was of last year or previous years?
Oh, I do, but not off the top of my head.
Yep.
Oh, Jai Hunter is one of the past winners.
And what did he do?
It was a young girl from Gilmore College High School. She's involved in numerous initiatives.
Yeah.
And she really was one of these young up-and-coming leaders which she mentors, she does dancing. She's very science-based and I think she wants to be a doctor. So she was also chosen to go on numerous camps, etc., promoting young women in science.
Ah, sensational.
She's good, and she's a young Indigenous woman.
Yeah.
So it's a really even a great...
and do you think winning that award actually set a new, not a new path, but actually opened up opportunities for her as well?
I think having it on your CV as you go
Absolutely.
forward and it's being recognised by your community to have all these wonderful skills can only bode well.
Yeah.
And for your confidence as well.
Yes.
I think was really good. And so we've been very lucky that we've had Alcoa and Coogee who have sponsored this. And so those awards are currently open until the 12th of May. So if you know any young children...
How do they nominate?
Right, you go to our website. There's nomination forms. You can go to our youth Zone Youth Centre.
Okay.
And so if you know of anybody listening who knows a young person 10 to 18 in Quinana who you believe is worthy of a Lyric Award, because they're doing something, and it might have been through lockdown you did something.
Yeah.
You went and, walked your neighbour's dog, or it's also open to community groups, because I know the Bertram Primary School, they had a great cooking and gardening group called the Fireflies. They are also a recipient of the award. So it's not just individuals, there is a team award as well.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah. So that's our Lyric Awards. We've got a great photography competition coming up, and I really love this because I like taking photos myself. And because we're the city of trees, this year we've decided to really focus on our competition is around trees.
Okay, yes.
Urban.
Bringing the focus back, yep.
We're known for our lush urban canopy. So we've got a competition open from the 2nd to the 27th of May. And so it's focusing on our trees, wetland, bushland areas, and looking at trees, I suppose, from a different perspective.
Yes.
And there's some great prizes. First prizes for adults is $400, youth $300, and children $200. So that's quite
massive prices. That's amazing. And anyone can really enter, because we've all got a phone with us usually all the time with a camera on there.
I'm just doing I've just signed off on the media release about that, because in addition to it, we've got a professional photographer in the town called Samuel Chan, and he'll be doing some photographic tutorials at the John Wellard Community Centre. So that's in the media release, because I can't remember the date that it is. And I think that'll be quite popular.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Those little tricks.
Yeah, little tricks to make your photo just pop and make it, sometimes it's not the photo that you took, but actually looking in depth a little bit more. There's the actual picture. So that will be really interesting.
The last couple of years I've been the judge of that, and not just myself, but we've had professional people judging. And just sitting back, listening, like I'll look at a picture and think, oh my God, that's stunning. And then they'll say, oh no, the shadow should have been this way or that way. And I picked up so much from it. So I'm looking forward to it. Yep. In fact, they had a drone image, which was one of the overall winners last year. And it's actually a drone overlooking the wreck of the old SS Quinana on Wells Park.
Okay.
Beautiful photo, yeah. So that was one
different perspective.
It was a different perspective, yeah.
Very nice.
So we've got our National Teddy Bears Picnic held at the Bright Futures Children's Service on Bolton Way in Aurelia, and that's on Thursday.
Oh, that's great to get the community, the community together for that.
Bring the little ones out and get their teddy bears and have a nice little picnic outside. Weather permitting, this beautiful autumn weather. I hope it remains.
Yep.
And one of my favourites is coming up. It's the National Simultaneous Story Time. That's where it's a program that's been going for years. Or they pick a day. It's National Story Time Day, and it's supposed to be all at the same time. But because of time differences between Australia and New Zealand, we all read a book. It's generally done in the library. It's well promoted. So it's 11 a.m. on the Wednesday, the 25th of May. And the story, the same story, so this story they've chosen Family Tree by the author Josh Pike. So
once again, that fits into your narrative beautiful, doesn't it?
Family Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't our pick though. But so children aged around 5 years will go to the library. I go in and I read a book. Most mayors, presidents are asked to read the book at the same time, so that's one of the really good things you get to do.
Yeah.
I really look forward to that.
Quite rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, and now this one, I'm stumbling over my words today. This is even a better one.
Preneur?
Preneurs.
Yeah, mumpreneurs.
Oh, goodness me. So we've got a workshop. A lot of people don't know that small family or home businesses are so exploding, the number of people who are now doing home businesses. So the city works really closely trying to provide lots of support for home businesses, whether it's trying to, what are the council rules, regulations, how do you set up, how do you promote, So we've got if you've any parents out there looking to start a business or have a great idea, we've got a current with their current home-based business, we've got a course at the Darius Wells Library and Resource Centre to inspire any enthusiastic people who would like to. They might have an idea or they want to discuss how they could expand on their home business. So the workshop is going to be held on Wednesday the 11th of May at 8:45 to 1 p.m.
And can I say, even if you do have an existing small business, going to something like that only just elevates your ideas and inspires you, and it actually provides connection to other people who have small businesses. And also, being a small business person myself, it can be quite lonely at times. And when you widen your network and go to these amazing workshops, which are free,
free.
So that it's only going to increase your quality of knowledge, but also inspire you to engage in different avenues. So that's amazing. That's really, really good.
And there's lots of active business support groups, not just in Quinana but in Rockingham. You've got your BNIs, young entrepreneurs, etc. Very active groups that meet, once a month, and they share ideas and provide support. They get guest speakers in.
Yeah.
So if you are in a small business and you're feeling a bit lonely, just
reach out.
There is always somebody there.
And where will they find that information, just in case you've missed it?
Ring the City of Kwinana, ask to speak to their community service area.
Yeah.
Go to our website, go to our Facebook page, send us an email.
Yeah.
And you'll get an avalanche of things that are going on. And this is a funny one. I shouldn't say funny. We've got scooter coaching being offered at the Edge Skate Park. And that's on the 28th of April from 3:30 to 6:30. So if you ride a scooter and you want a specific bit of coaching on riding your scooter, come down to the Edge Skate Park.
You've got something for everybody.
I must say, when we first built the skate park there, I was so nervous. If you've not been there, have a look at the bowl, competition-sized bowl. And I looked down and I thought, oh, my God, and there's little kids on skateboards and bikes just going up and down this bowl on it.
No fear.
No fear. And it's like when my children were smaller and they used to jump on a trampoline. I couldn't watch them. It's like, and then you see these kids in this bowl going up and down. I thought,
they're talented, aren't they? And you have a world-class facility there.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, it's a competition category skate park.
Yeah.
And it was designed at the time, with local skaters and WA skaters who put in a lot of
knowledge and preparation into making sure that it was perfect, and it is, and it's very well utilised.
It is. In fact, we're having a ladies only skateboard session.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Have to go down there for that.
Good on you. So that's on the 3rd of May between 5 and 7. So that'll be a nice one.
Yeah.
So if you're a lady out there and you like to go skateboarding and you don't want to be gawked at, here's your opportunity to have a session.
Yeah.
Down there. Yep. And we've got we do put a lot of money into our youth.
Yes.
A lot of services because,
they're the next generation.
That's right. And you like to keep them busy.
Yes.
So we've got the Kwinana Beats, which is a hip-hop and beat-making session.
Oh, cool.
Right.
That's held at the Zone every Wednesday from 3 to 5, and it just teaches those who come along the basics of beat making and recording and booking, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course I do. Every weekend.
And just one other thing that was on my list to talk about, we recently received some funding from the RAC, and it was about how to revitalise some areas. And one of them is the Wellard Village. There's an area called the Strand, which is a main walkway.
Yes.
A beautiful area, Wellard Village, but unfortunately it was supposed to have lots of apartments and people walking around because, you're bringing people and density to the area. When the GFC first hit, a lot of the plans for all the apartments, went by the wayside, and it's been very slow getting off the ground. We've got a shopping centre there and a main street called the Strand. People just walk past sometimes just to go to the train station and back. So we've got a very active Wellard community group, Village People. And
Great name.
And they've put in for some funding with the city of Quinana, and so they're looking at different ways to really interact and energise that area. So it's not just a street you walk down.
No, you could have small businesses incorporated in there with markets, little shows, things like that.
We've done a lot of work in there, and we've lost a lot of retailers too.
Yeah.
So I think nothing's worse than coming to an area and seeing empty shops.
No, I agree.
So it's about how do you reinvigorate the area, because it's a transit-orientated development, TODs. And which means that to qualify to be a TOD, you've got to have density around it. So we've got the density waiting.
Yeah. We've
got the apartments ready to go. We just need some, I think, investor confidence for that to happen. So like in 10 years' time, we'd like to think that, those apartments are there, people are walking around, there's lots
those businesses are full.
Hotel, a great tavern, we've got some great cafes there, but we just need the people.
Yep.
Yeah. So really that's a brief round the ground today for the city of Quinana.
It was excellent. It's
so much going on.
Yeah.
A few things that I'd like to come along to.
Skate.
Yeah.
We're going to learn to skate.
Yeah.
Definitely. The Mumpreneurs workshop that you've got going on, that sounds amazing, and I know that will probably be very well received. As you said, that's like kind of where everyone's going at the moment, at-home businesses, and they're getting bigger and bigger, so that's great that you've got that initiative.
And I think a lot of people always think, well, council, we pay rates, we get nothing for them, but if people actually knew how much the local government does in trying to place make and build community connections, they would be quite surprised. It's little things like we're a migrant resettlement area. In our school, our main school, Gilmore College, 37 languages are spoken.
Wow.
Which means there's a very diverse, multicultural community. And our role is to try and get people at home who may not speak English to be part of our community. So we put a lot of time and effort into that as well, to do as much as we can. We've got a really great active placemaking team. We've divided the city into different areas. We've got rural areas, so we've got a placemaker for our rural and Wandi and Wellard areas, and more for Medina and our older areas. So we've got... And those placemakers do a great job.
Yeah,
they really go out, they interact with the businesses there, the community groups, and it's about how can we get our community who want to engage to come forward, or those who are a bit reluctant, maybe because of language or other issues that they may be feeling, how do they come forward?
Yep.
Yeah. So that we've got a fantastic group called Bespoke. Got the name. Isn't it funny? I've had a blank. It's run by this wonderful lady called Inga Ward, and it's about going around and getting people who are feeling isolated to come out and really enjoy what's going on in the community.
Yeah, fantastic initiatives there. It's
wonderful.
Really great to hear. And it's all about getting that word out there. Like you said, people quick to complain, but when you actually provide them with the information, it's actually power. Unless we know these events are going on, unless we're actually broadcasting, which is what we're here for, isn't it? At the end of the day,
and
we want and we actually want to promote events like this to get the community engaged, because the flow-on effect in terms of happiness, engagement, networking, providing, an opportunity for someone, like you said, you were new to the area, you had your brother, but you didn't have anyone else. A sporting group actually gave you that extra family, didn't it?
Social connections.
It's just so valuable. I really appreciate you coming in to talk to us today. Will you be back? We haven't scared you away, have we?
No, I've been in about 3 times. So
great.
When I'm invited, I pop in and from time to time. I think the last time was probably before Christmas.
Yeah, well, we need to have you back in here more often, because you've got so much going on.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that, although I was stumbling over my little words a bit. Mumtreneur, I still can't say it.
Mumpreneur? That's what we're here to do, help. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
We've got some music coming up next.
Yeah, we've got Adele now.
Hello.